Hi, 30 Dayers. Welcome back to 30 Days, 15 Minutes for the Entrepreneur. Today is day 30, our final day. Today is being brought to you by Deeds Be Done, which is a home services platform that connects home service providers like housekeeping, repairs, movers, furniture assemblies, pet care to the clientele that are looking for your services. If you would like to sign up for to be a provider on our platform, please go to www.deedsbedone.com. I am Ursula Dunn, the owner of Deeds Be Done, and I will be your host for this last and final day of 30 Days, 15 Minutes for the Entrepreneur. I promise this will only take 15 minutes and there will be homework. We follow an agenda of the topic of the day, an inspirational quote, case study, and tips. I am all out of virtual coffee sessions, but you can email me if you have any questions at info@deedsbedone.com. So I thought it fitting because today's our last day to talk about exit strategies. And our quote comes from Stephen Covey, another one of those must reads for entrepreneurs. Please check out his portfolio books. You cannot go wrong with a Stephen Covey book. His quote is, to begin with the end in mind means to start with a clear understanding of your destination. It means to know where you're going so that you better understand where you are now and so that steps you take are always in the right direction. So always begin with the end in mind. And that's so true for entrepreneurs. When you start your business, you probably don't want to think about your business ending or exiting your business. It feels taboo, but it's actually something that you should very much begin with because that'll help guide you in the steps that you're making and decisions you're making as you're starting your business. Great example, Spotify, which was started by Daniel Ek and Martin Lorentzen back in 2008. They developed this music streaming service platform in 2006 as a response to the growing piracy problem. I know a lot of you guys remember Napster, LimeWire, or Pirate Bay. You might have downloaded a song or two from there. Spotify was a music streaming service that provides, or is still in business, that provides on-demand access to songs across a range of digital services. So the founder, Daniel, he said, and this is a direct quote, I realized that you can never legislate away from piracy. That's what inspired him. And that the only way to solve the problem was going to be to create a service that was better than piracy and at the same time compensates the music industry. He also had a slight little, thought in his mind, foreseeing that this service would one day be worth tens of billions of dollars. And he was not wrong because in 2018, Spotify went public to the tune of 29.5 billion as a valuation. They had only raised 2.27 billion in funding, so that is a significant amount of profit for the founders and their investors. An exit strategy gives a business owner a way to kind of reduce or liquidate their stake in a business. And if the business is successful, make a substantial profit. If the business is not successful, an exit strategy will help you to limit the amount of loss from a failing business. An exit strategy is also a way that your investors or venture capitalists gain or cash out of a business investment. Even if your business is small, it's a good idea to plan for the future and think about how you will transfer ownership of your business somewhere down the line in the future, whether you choose to sell it or you try to scale it or you try to get acquired. It's just never too early to plan. In fact, it's something that you want to include in your business plan when you're pitching to investors. So we'll talk about, there's more than 5 ways to exit a business, but we'll talk about 5 of those. So mergers and acquisitions. An acquisition is when another company purchases a company for more than 50% of that firm's assets or public offerings. This allows the acquirer to make decisions about this newly acquired asset without the approval of the company's stakeholders. They are very common in business. and may occur with the target company's approval, or it might not have the target company's approval, which would be like a hostile takeover. The reasons why a company might acquire another business, whether it be small or big, is they might seek economies of scale or to diversify their portfolio, to increase their market share, create some synergies within their own offerings, cost reductions, or to just enter in a new niche market. So a good example is TikTok acquired Musical.ly, converting their 100 million users to their 300 million users on their TikTok platform. And they did this to break into the US market. It was a quick and easy way to, one, enter a market, and two, to gain 100 million users. So they just pretty much when they took it over, they converted all of the Musical.ly subscribers over to their platform. There was like no permission needed or granted. They just transferred them over. Some other reasons why you might acquire a business is, to lessen the competition, or someone might want to acquire your business to lessen the competition. They may look to reduce their excess capacity. And then they might be looking to gain new technology that they don't have access to. Sometimes it can be more cost effective for a company to purchase some other company that already has implemented a new technology successfully than to spend the time and the money to develop a new technology themselves. So a merger is when the purchasing and targeting companies mutually combine to form a completely new entity. And it's because you just strongly believe that the combining of your two businesses will bring more value to all the parties and shareholders than either one could do by standing alone. So a larger company buys a smaller one with complementary or similar products or services, or merges with a smaller company with complementary products or services. Like a coffee shop might buy a bakery so that now they can, offer pastries. Google acquired YouTube, and now you'll see whenever you do a search, you get YouTube videos. So that was a full acquisition, but they merged the two businesses to provide better service to the users. Another form of exit strategy is to go public and offer initial public offering. So this is the process of offering shares of a private corporation to the public in a new stock issuance. So you can get a valuation of your business and then create an IPO and then sell shares of the business to the public. The transition from a private to a public company can be a very important time for private investors to really kind of gain their money back, because they usually will get special deals on the purchase of stock, or they can cash out on their investment altogether. A management buyout is a transaction where a company's management team purchases the assets and operations of the business that they manage. This is also a very viable way to exit the business. The people who are already running it might want to purchase it for you. So a management buyout is appealing to professional managers because of the greater potential of rewards and control from going from being an employee to an owner. So that is a very attractive way to exit your business as well. And finally, not finally, family succession. So a lot of businesses are family owned, and they're open with the intent of passing it down to the children or someone in their family. Deciding who will take over your business, when and why is key. You will need to define like the specific circumstances where the plan would come into effect. And then you should obviously decide, very early on, who are going to be the successors. You should keep in mind that you can have more than one successor simultaneously, and be very mindful of how you divide up the ownership to those successors. You can have multiple tiers of succession, and you can create contingency plans for various scenarios that might be out. So if you give it really careful thought about, and looking at your family structure and who you want to pass that business along, you might have one of your children that are more business savvy, and the other one that's not so business savvy, but you want them to have a stake in it. So you may give it 75-25 share, or, if, you were to die and then you passed it on to this kid, some contingencies upon who gets what. You want to also make sure to keep training in mind. Now that you have the succession plan, start building that training early on so that, they will be prepared to take on the business. It can be a mix of like formal training or informal training. You can have them on the job with you learning, and you can even have them going outside of the company, maybe getting experience in other businesses, which is actually a really great idea because it will bring new and fresh perspectives versus having that family mindset, kind of like tunnel vision on how we've always done things, to your business, and maybe even grow your business even more once they take it on. Um, Companies, actually, it's always a really, really good idea, associated with the risk of turning it over to family members, to understand the desires and wants of your family members. Do they really even want to take that business on? And then have those conversations. Finally, you want to make sure that you have all the documentation prepared and ready to be signed at a moment's notice, at the drop of a hat, because you never know what can happen. You can fall terminally ill, or you can be incapacitated. So if you have that, documentation already prepared and ready to go, that makes sure that your business can continue to operate under any circumstances. Finally, liquidation is another option for exiting your business. At this point, maybe some of the other options are not viable options for you. And it's one of the fastest way to close your business. It's like you just literally close your doors and you liquidate all your assets. You sell everything. And some instances, only this can be your only option when the operation of your business is dependent like on you yourself, or if family members are not really interested in continuing the business. Another reason you might do this is because you know you're impending bankruptcy, so now you need to liquidate your assets. Profits that you make from selling these assets have to go to your creditors first, and then in order to profit, you really need, kind of like, you need this common sense that you need to have some valuable assets. So like you need land, equipment, or maybe even your brand, your logo, or your trademark, your intellectual property. Those are things that you can sell off when you liquidate your business. Um, if it's not a hassle for you and your decision to liquidate is not related to finance, if it's not related to finance, you might want to consider selling your business. So you might be able to pitch it to someone who's interested in going into your type of business that might be more, profitable to you to just sell it to someone else versus liquidating and selling everything. All right, so that is our exit strategy. I have really enjoyed bringing all of these sessions and webinars to you guys. I hope you have gained a wealth of knowledge in the areas of entrepreneurship, and that you have some very, very tangible things in your notebook to help and inspire you to start or to grow your business. Today's assignment is to consider your exit strategy, really give it some thought, and then write down some ideas in your notebook of what your exit strategy would be. Make sure you add it to your business plan. Also, feel free to share on Facebook or Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. Um, Finally, Deeds Be Done and myself, we appreciate you tuning in, and we hope you have a great day.